Namaste to all of you. If you're comfortable, keep your videos on. That's one sole purpose of moving into Zoom sessions, is to see you also and not just the name printed all of you on the screen. If you're comfortable, keep your... Okay, all right. We start by closing our eyes. And give a strong intention. By first highlighting Dear Universe, I understand the value of change. I understand why you show me a lot of change around me and inside of me. I understand that changes are happening, whether I like it or not, whether I want it or not. Which makes me realize that I've got to be in alignment with the change. I now choose not only to embrace the change, but also initiate changes in my life. With this intention, open your eyes. So if you remember in the last session, we discussed about change being constant, a very cliched thing. It's mentioned everywhere that change is the only thing that's constant. But to read it and to logically understand it is very different than experiencing it and being a part of the entire flow. So one thing is true, that changes are happening inside our body every minute, every second, and changes are happening outside us, of us. Changes are happening in people's behaviors, changes are happening in the world, changes are happening everywhere. And that's why the last session we spoke about embracing the change, falling in love with the word change itself. And as I had mentioned in the last session, a majority of people are carrying a negative belief about change, that change is difficult, change is challenging. There are people who land up saying change is very difficult. And that's why the association related to change is the first thing that needs to change. Your belief about change is the first thing that needs to change as we all change. So is change easy or difficult? I don't know, but change is interesting. Change is amazing. Change is needed. And I can joyfully change. I am joyfully changing are some of the beliefs that we all should not just say, but repeat it so many times that it becomes a part of our subconscious. The next time, randomly, anybody, any session asks you, is change easy or tough? What should come out naturally? What should come out effortlessly in an autopilot mode is change is phenomenal. Change is amazing. I love changes. Change is anyways happening. So I am in total alignment with change. So the first step, being aligned and accepting the inevitable in life. Like I say in some of my sessions, that once you are born, once we all are born, we are only moving towards death. Nobody's going anywhere else. We're all moving in that direction towards one ultimate event, right? What you've got to do is make the entire journey, the interim period, so joyful, so amazing that whenever the closure comes in life, it's an amazing closure. And we all should know that amazing closures bring in amazing beginning. And that's extremely important. So amazing closures don't just happen if you just go to Kashi towards the end of the closure. It happens when you bring in that effect every day in your life. Every day there has to be phenomenal closures. And one beautiful small aspect of the entire closure is to accept the inevitable in life. And one of the inevitables in life is change. So change is beautiful. Change is wonderful. And now I not only want you to accept the change, but also be the initiator of change. So today's session is all about initiating change. The first is to accept the inevitable. The second is to become the inevitable. You've got to initiate changes. I remember in 2000, some of you would have heard me saying maybe once or twice somewhere in the past about this story. I remember in 2019, uh, things were just going beautiful, and I happened to speak to one of my hypnotherapy teacher, and he asked me, Harish, how's business? And I said, business is amazing. He asked me, effortless? I said, absolutely effortless, which means I don't have to really market it. I am not going and talking to people. I'm not going and saying, give me business, but it's just happening. It's happening through word of mouth. It's logically, it's happening through word of mouth. It's happening through Google. It's happening through other platforms. But spiritually, since I am in alignment, it's just happening. I don't have to market, I don't have to sell, it's happening. And he just asked me, since how long it's been happening? And I said, it's been about a couple of years, it's effortless. And he started laughing, and I started laughing because I knew why he was laughing. And he said, if things are going effortless and amazing for the last 2 years, be ready for a massive change. Something big is going to happen, Harish. Either you initiate something big or something big is going to happen. Either you disrupt the flow on your own or the flow will get disrupted. Either you trigger and do something different, or situations will come in such a way that you will have to do something different. So the bottom line is either you want to do it or eventually you have to do it. And I still remember I started discussing about online and saying that online is something that I can start doing. And this was approximately December when I had a conversation with one of my teachers. And I said, I'm going to start off with online. I'm not in the online space, but online could be an interesting space, but it's not as beautiful as the offline space. And the next 3 months, I just spent in my own beautiful thermostat, giving excuses, giving justifications that why I'm not yet starting the online and how busy I am with the offline that I have no time for the online. And then came the pandemic, right on my face saying, what the hell are you going to do now? And the offline became zero, where eventually I had to move into online, right? But if I would have taken the action, the step, if I would have disrupted the flow myself and taken the initiative, it wouldn't have happened. I'm not saying I'm sitting here and creating the pandemic. The point is, situations would manifest, situations would come eventually to disrupt the flow because the flow needs to be disrupted. There is no human life which starts with absolute smoothness and ends with absolute smoothness. The ups and downs are inevitable. The point is, you either create it on your own or you wait for it to happen. Average people have a simple philosophy that चल रहा है ना तो चलने दे, जिस दिन खराब होगा उस दिन देखेंगे. And this is the typical mentality of an average person, because for them, if anything is going okay, छेड़ मत बाबा उसको, चल रहा है ना चलने दे, दोनों के बीच में ठीक ठाक चल रहा है, छेड़ मत, रहने दे. Have you had a discussion with your partner about how the relationship can go to the next level? Majority of people say ऐसा रिस्क मत ले, चल रहा है ना चलने दे, जिस दिन कुछ गड़बड़ होगा उस दिन देखेंगे. But bhaiya, that's called firefighting. That's called damage control. That's called managing the damage that's already happened. But your ability to trigger that. But some people say, क्यों पूछना है? जबरदस्ती क्यों छेड़ना है? But then you are operating out of a different level of consciousness where you understand कि अगर मैं खुद से अभी नहीं छेड़ूंगा तो ये अपने आप छिड़ने वाला है. And that's why the best way of ensuring that you don't get shocked and triggered and disrupted by the change that's inevitable and it's going to happen is you become the disruption on your own. What am I trying to say? I'm not trying to go and say that destroy everything that's existing. I am saying ask yourself in every area of your life, what is that one change that you would like to initiate today? And by initiating, and I'm not saying, see, people look at what I need to change in the area which is not working. Hey, this is not working, we've got to change something. The marketing is not working, we've got to change something. The sales is not working, we've got to change something. The relationship is not working, we've got to change something. How about saying everything is working, we've got to change something? It's going in a beautiful flow, let's change something. It's working amazing, let's change something. And that's where you become the change initiator. And when you become the change initiator, when you create the change, when you initiate the change, is the only time when you are in synchronicity with the universe at its highest level, because the universe is constantly initiating changes, moving from one form to the other, bringing in some kind of disruption, bringing in some kind of a massive change. So an amazing work that I want each one of you to initiate today is look at all areas of your life. The major areas would be your health, your wealth, your relationships. You can even break it down to my finances, my hobbies, my friend circle, my professional group, my work, at my workspace, and ask yourself, what is it that I can do differently? Of course, always remember when you initiate any kind of change, there are three important steps. What am I going to change? In short, what am I going to disrupt? The next point, why am I changing it? What is the highest benefit? You need to know what's the biggest beautiful thing that can happen when you initiate the change. And then, of course, when the why is absolutely clear, the mind will show you the how, the universe will show you the how. That's why some people say, कैसा होगा भूल जा, हो जाएगा, तू सिर्फ उस स्टेट में रहे. But I'm not a complete believer of that, because I feel you have to contribute in thinking about the how. Like a lot of schools of manifestation say, you just give an intention and don't worry about the how. I understand the emotion when somebody says like that, but I always feel you've got to contribute. You've got to be in the flow of thinking about the how. I want $1 million. Amazing. Why? But then you've got to think about the how. And that's important. So, what is it that I'm going to change in the area of my health? Now, you can have mental health, you can have emotional health, you can have physical health. Like in the mental health, you can say, I'm going to listen to a meditative audio for X minutes or X seconds every day from today. Emotions, I'm going to start off with my EET every day to resolve my negative emotions or to build positive emotions. At physical body, Maybe I'm eating something which I'm going to say no. I'm drinking something which I'm going to say no. Or I'm going to add drinking something or eating something which is going to be beneficial for my health. Maybe I'm just going to add methi seeds water or chia seeds water, anything, but it's something that you're going to initiate. Look at your relationship. These are the easiest part, but you've got to pick up challenges. Look at your relationships, your personal and professional. What is it that I'm going to change? Now, some of them would feel, मैं ही तो बदल रहा हूं या मैं ही तो बदल रही हूं इतने सालों से, सामने वाला बदल ही नहीं रहा है. Now, if at all such things immediately comes up, you've got to do ho'oponopono with that person because you have a karmic baggage. And when you have a karmic baggage, you have entanglements, you have conflicts, you have inevitable stress. But then you're a part of the story. You're a part of the drama. If you go higher in your consciousness, you are the initiator of that drama. Why am I saying that? Because we've initiated having that person in our life. It takes time to understand it. It takes therapy to understand it at times, but that's the understanding that we all should have. It's all initiated by us. So in this case also, what am I going to change? Well, I've been constantly changing. Is it working? The answer is no. Then the smartness is to understand that I'm probably doing 10 things which is not working. How about letting go of all 10 and finding out what's going to be the 11th thing that I'm going to change? What is it that I'm going to change within me? What is it that I'm going to change in my health, in my relationship, in my money? And I want you to document it. So if I ask you all right now, if you have to put it in the comment section, what is it that you got to change or you're ready to change at this point in time in your life? Let me see what's coming to your mind immediately. Don't highlight what you've already started changing, what you've already changed. Highlight what you're going to change after this session. Initiator, as an initiator of the change, what is it that you're going to change in your life? It can be a small step. It can be a small gesture which you would be consistent enough. It could be as simple as saying that I am going to express, I'm going to change my thoughts of fear, beautiful, but what is it that you're going to change? How? For example, you got to say, let's say if I have a fear of flying, I'm going to say, whenever I think about flying, I'm going to now operate more out of faith, right? What is it that I'm going to change? That one change. I'm going to change my business strategies. Beautiful. But you got to write it specifically, not here, of course, out there, right? What is it that you're going to change within yourself? I want to change. Okay. So you're not going to type in, I want to change. That's your desire. This is what I'm going to change. I want you to announce it. I want to change again, want to. No, don't tell me what you want to change. Tell me what you're going to change. This is what I choose to change. This is what I am going to change. Change my relationship with a specific person. Beautiful. A bigger outcome to change the relationship with a specific person. What is it that I'm going to change? For example, I would say I'm first going to change my perception about the other person. Right now, I have a perception कि वो एक number का गधा है. But now I'm going to change my perception that वो जैसे भी है मेरा story, मेरा drama का हिस्सा है, which means the person is an amazing person in my life. So I'm going to change my perception about that person. I need to work on changing my daily routine. Again, a lot of things. What is that one thing you got to change? So I want each one of you to have that one specific. All right, I'm going to do Ho'oponopono. Beautiful. Disguised angel. Okay, it's something that you got to be. Amazing. So what's that one change you're going to initiate, right? Now remember, when you're initiating the change, you are aligning with the universal flow. And when you are in the universal flow, everything will start flowing in your life. You got to initiate the change. So I want you to like pick up a notebook on one page today, write down those 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 changes you're going to make. And every day when you do your introspection, I want you to, tick mark that I've done this one, I've done this two, I've done this three. And for the next 21 to 48 days, I want you to be in that flow. Close your eyes and just imagine a beautiful golden white light coming right from the universe, entering the top of your head, covering your entire body, every cell of your body, beautifully covered with this beautiful golden light. And realize this is the light of the divine. This is the light of the cosmos. And in this beautiful light, you are directly connected to this amazing universe or your divine. In this state, communicate with the divine that as I now embrace change, I now choose to initiate these changes in my life. Dear universe, dear divine, give me the energy the power and consistency to initiate this change and experience the beauty of being in the flow with the universe. The energy centers, the chakras related to change are your knees and the toes of both your feet. Your right knee symbolizes accepting the changes, and your left knee symbolizes continuing with the changes. Your legs, your legs anyway symbolize
So there's no audio.
Is it coming now?
Yes.
Focus on your entire lower back and lower part of the body, especially your feet, your ankles, your calf, your knees, your thighs, and your hip joints. And realize that the lower part of your body, especially your legs, symbolize movement. It symbolizes progress. It symbolizes initiation of changes. Visualize joyfully walking towards the change that you now initiate. Imagine you're enjoying the walk. You're moving towards amazing possibilities. You're moving towards what can happen beautifully in your life. You're moving towards progress. You're moving towards the next level of success. Your movement is smooth, effortless, joyful, joyfully fast, and initiated by you. Just take a pause, stop walking and stop moving, and all of you turn back towards your past, and first express gratitude for whatever was there in your path in your past. It could be a brighter past, a darker past, a difficult past, a smoother past. Whatever it was, express gratitude to the past behind you. And just imagine when you do that, you immediately let go of any kind of burden you've been carrying, any kind of heavy baggage that you've been carrying, just drop it now. And now look at the future in front of you. Filled with beautiful white light. Start walking. Start moving. And start enjoying. And repeat with me mentally, emotionally. I enjoy my movement. I enjoy this progress. I enjoy this change. I initiate this movement. I initiate this change. I move towards progress. I move towards possibilities. I move towards success. Imagine and feel you are walking, and this walk, this movement, this change is not tiring, it's only energizing. It seems as if the more you walk and the more you move, the more you get energized. You're moving towards the light. You're moving towards progress. You're moving towards success. You're moving towards joy. You're moving towards higher experiences. And repeat, I move, I change, I initiate, I joyfully progress, I transform. Feel the movement. Take a deep breath and exhale through your mouth. Once again, take a deep breath and exhale through your mouth. Breathe in the positive energy and let go of any kind of lethargy. Breathe in the change. Let go of any kind of resistance. Breathe in the joy. Let go of any kind of sadness. Breathe in the movement. Let go of any kind of resistance. Breathe in the change and exhale. Breathe in the joy and exhale. Breathe in the love and exhale. Breathe in the energy and exhale. Relax, all of you. Repeat with me. I am ready. I am receptive. I change. I move. I shift. I transform. I am ready. I am receptive. I change. I move. I grow. I transform. I am ready. I am receptive. I change. I move. I flow. I transform. Rub your palms, initiating the energy of beautiful change inside your body and the energy of change between your palms. Cover your eyes and gently open your eyes. In the morning group, in the sacred Tathastu morning group, I would want each one of you to highlight today what is the specific thing you're going to change. One specific change. 2, 3, 5, 10, doesn't matter. What is that change that you are going to initiate? Not because you have to change, because you want to change and you're going to change. It's also a great idea. And maybe Preeti and Shruti will help you out with this to identify someone from the group who can be an accountability partner for your change. So you tell this person that let's collaborate. Let's remind each other to make that shift, to make that movement, and to transform. If it's a quantum shift and you need support, you can connect with Shruti and Preeti, who would also help you on this journey. So let's be in this beautiful flow and let's initiate an amazing change with this energy, realizing that I'm going to make a shift. People who have aches and pains and issues in your knees, the left or the right, 2 or 3 times a day, keep your palms on your knees and just say, I accept the change. I move ahead with the change and I now change. Imagine speaking to your knees or any issue with your legs. Speak to your legs that you're ready to move. You are ready to move effortlessly and you are ready to change. Do let me know when you do this regularly. You will see a shift. People are sensitive. Even when you say it once, you're going to see your knees and your legs responding because your knees and your legs carries the chakras, the energy center of change and movement. So mentally, when you make a shift, it does have an impact on your physical body. So all the best. Be in the flow. Let's all joyfully change. And in the next few days, let's even highlight the beautiful rewards we experience for the change that we have initiated. So have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. And let's start making a beautiful shift. Tathastu to each one of you.